Colleen Rooney here. I know FPL bros. I know you. I've heard you. Yeah, you're the ones all dumping on Man United. I listened to every single episode. I've worked it out. I got you, FPL bros. Got you cold. Dumping on my Wayne's Man United. You're gonna learn the hard way. Crossteth, massively ride or die in Crossteth. Now you're getting it.
Yeah.
Wait, go on, kick him in the head, kick him in the freaking head.
Cool, bud.
Bye, Khalid. Nice lady.
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
Yes, you're listening to FPL Bros, episode 7. We're recording on a Tuesday evening after Gameweek 9, and we've just had some Champions League results as well, people.
Yeah.
So we might get into that a little bit, but before we start for real, on a serious note, obviously we're recording after the international break recently where England went to play European Championship qualifier in Bulgaria. And what you'll be hearing now, you can hear this quite clearly racist chanting at the game. So obviously it's just beyond what you wanna see for black players in this day and age.
Yeah, we've come too far to be getting this abuse. You know, football's evolved. It's a multicultural sport, which doesn't exclude or see race. You know, it's a way for individuals from all different backgrounds to find, you know, a common thing which they all enjoy and share that with everyone. So for this to still be happening at this day and age is, you know, really embarrassing, you know, on the team that it's happening for, or that side is happening for. And to be very honest with you, you know, as you clearly heard earlier, that was racial abuse, and the Bulgarian manager didn't hear any racist abuse, and he had all sorts of excuses.
Yeah, always come with the excuses. But that's not going to fly.
To be fair, I have a lot of opinions on football and race that I'll be going on forever if I spoke about it. But I believe this is nothing new. I believe that this is just something that we're actually tackling and people are talking about at this moment in time, which is good. I feel like now we'll finally decide to do something about it, but it is nothing new. I don't believe Bulgaria is even the worst country for racism in football. I believe they just don't have control over their fans. But like, I've been to Bulgaria before. My sister's there right now.
Yes, of course. You have. Yeah.
Derek was there not long ago as well.
Okay.
I feel safer as a black man in Bulgaria than I would do in somewhere like Russia. But I know for a fact that Russia will have a lot more control over their fans at being racist. And as in Bulgaria, outside of football stadiums, there were swastikas everywhere. There's such a normal thing there.
Yeah. It's just, I think in a lot of European countries, a lot of these white people, especially when you go to Eastern Europe, I think they've just got massive chips on their shoulders, which is part of the problem. Because what I found interesting is that in the build-up to the game, one of the first things they were saying in Bulgaria is, well, you can't talk English, people. And, you know, rightly or wrongly, they had a point. So they're probably a little bit taken aback that everybody as well, I mean, the press here are the biggest culprits, really, when it comes to hypocrisy. You know, it's one thing to get behind black people when they're scoring goals for you and you can throw your pint of beer in the air celebrating. But when one of them marries a red-headed member of the royal family, strangely enough, they don't want to get behind that. But anyway.
Also, another thing, actually, I want to point out Jamie Carragher, his apology to Evra yesterday, and Rio Ferdinand saying that the whole Liverpool should apologise for supporting Suarez during that period in time, which I can see personally was probably the worst period of supporting Liverpool ever in my life. I never, ever took Suarez aside in that saga, not once.
No.
Yeah, and I thought it was disgusting.
No. Well, it was, because if there's one thing I think that black people have earned the right to is to play football with dignity. And I remember I had this discussion with some Spanish friends that when there was, I think it was going back maybe about 15 years, and Sean White-Phillips went to play an England friendly in Spain, and they were making monkey noises while he was playing. And I remember I expressed my opinion about this to some Spanish friends, and they said, oh, well, we're not racist. They weren't being racist. They were just doing that, because he's an opposing player and they wanted, just to put him off. And I said, okay, then. So what were you chanting to the white English players? And that's, yeah, exactly. That's the difference. I also want to say, actually, that, they were doing that racism protocol that UEFA have introduced. And again, like James said, we could talk for hours and hours about this. But I kind of had mixed feelings about it, because on the one hand, I wanted them to follow through on it and really show people that, that we were serious about following the protocol and not playing, because that's what had been laid down. But on the other hand, I thought, Sterling's got 2 goals. I don't want that to be wiped from the record, because if they abandon the game, those goals will be lost forever. Because I always want to see him do well, frankly. And if he can score 2 goals against a country where they're giving him that kind of abuse, I think that also says a lot. But then again, black people have always had to prove themselves on the football pitch in face of that kind of abuse. So, yeah. Anyway, that was just a kind of thing I wanted to say on that.
Yeah. Good point. So, yeah.
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
Yeah.
You guys ready to move on?
We are. Let's move it on. And I completely forgot they were playing Champions League tonight, actually. Or I was going to mention Aston Villa. I don't know, what sounds more exciting? Champions League or Aston Villa?
Let's start with Aston Villa.
But anyway, Aston Villa, carry on. So.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think we mentioned a few episodes ago that out of all the promoted teams, they were looking very shaky. They made a shaky start to life back in the Premier League, and possibly they were relegation candidates. And as a result, it didn't really seem like they had any players worth considering. But slowly but surely, they put an impressive performance. Obviously, they put 5 goals past Norwich. And in their the last game, what happened in that, actually? I've completely forgotten.
Very impressive. Very, very impressive. Very impressive. Jack Grealish. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
They played against Brighton, didn't they?
That's it. That's right, yeah.
Which was a good game. Everyone was looking at McGinn.
Yes.
But I think Grealish is the one to be actually keeping an eye on. Tottenham didn't want to sign him for no reason. The boy's got something about him.
I still cannot say that name.
Grealish?
Yes, I can't.
Grealish was at Aston Villa when Aston Villa were in the Premier League the last time. And he was tipped to be he was a promising guy for Aston Villa the last time they were in the Premier League. So he's been with them for a long time.
There's a way I can describe him. I just thought of this. He was the Jack Wilshere of Aston Villa.
You see, now you're thinking more on my level, because that's originally what I thought. And I have dumped on this kid from a great height. And I want to say, let's give him the rest of the season. I'm sure I'll be proved right, but I have to admit he does have some skills. Oh, that's so difficult. It's just difficult for me to say. Anyway, I'm not going to get him in because I'm stubborn like that.
I'm the same. Yeah, I'm the same, to be fair. But Aston Villa, they haven't really got nice fixtures coming up, so I'd stay well clear of them. They've got City, Liverpool, Wolves. Then they got Newcastle, which is fairly okay. Then they got United, Chelsea, Leicester. There's no chance I'm touching any of their players.
Okay, then. So I think we can agree on that, thankfully. But
I completely agree.
Yeah. But if we're talking about relegation candidates, it looks like, aside from Norwich, who've completely fallen apart, it looks like it's teams who were in the Premier League last season who might be struggling the most this season. And we'll have to see.
Watford,
yeah, there's something happening at Watford, definitely.
Yeah, I think personally, if we're going to just quickly talk about relegation, I can see Villa going down. I can see Norwich going down. I don't see Watford going down. Watford have got too much spunk, mate. They've been in the Premier League. They've battled it out. They've got the team that they can deliver with. They've just had a bit of a slow start, and they've been unlucky with their defence. But I think they've kind of sorted that out now. Wolves are in good form, so them losing to Wolves, that was expected. Prior to that, they lost to Manchester City, which is respectable. You know, City were off from that game, so they were coming out with a bang. So I wouldn't write Watford off. They drew with Arsenal 2-2. They lost to City and Wolves, who are in good form. Then they drew with Sheffield, who beat Arsenal. And then they drew with Spurs. They're not a team I'd write off at all. So, yeah.
Well, they were definitely unlucky to lose to Spurs. But some teams, they stay in the Premier League for a while, and then it just stops happening for them. Like with Swansea. You know, they were very impressive when they first came up.
That's very true.
You're right about Norwich, you know, because Norwich remind me of Phil Brown's Hull City or Ian Hull's Blackpool. Both teams which played exciting, attacking football. They always wanted to attack, and they always wanted to score goals, which was great. But then they conceded a lot as well, and then they ran out of steam by March, and then they were gone because sometimes you can't keep it up. You just can't keep it up, which is the same for Norwich because they've got some. Sorry.
I don't think they're a team that are ready for the Premier League.
Norwich.
Yeah.
No, I remember reading somewhere that they conceded a lot of goals when they were in the Championship. I think that's going to come back to haunt them. It's a shame, really, because they've got some cheap players. I actually got Pookie in my very first game week 1 team. So I only paid 6.5 million for him. And for that reason, I'm finding it hard to let go, I think. But who knows? He still might score. He's still taking shots. But apparently his numbers are down. So I might have to regulate that pretty soon. Okay. Everton. What do we think?
Wow.
Yeah.
I've got a lot to say about Everton right now. There's a lot of changes made by Marco Silva. A lot of changes. I wasn't believing in Marco Silva. I was thinking Everton should get rid of him.
Yeah.
But those changes. So Andre Gomez coming in and Davies coming in. They really bossed the game. They were very, very hungry. Theo Walcott, he was taking more shots from outside the box than I've ever seen him take in my life. It was amazing.
It was.
Then they dropped Sigurdsson, but when Sigurdsson came on, he really showed that it was the old Sigurdsson. It's the Sigurdsson from Swansea, the Sigurdsson from Iceland.
Yeah.
That's Sigurdsson that came on. So it just added that hunger to the team. And it's like, I wouldn't say it's the Everton that we expected from the players that they have, but it's a step closer to that. Because if you be real, Everton, they got a billionaire owner, and they have a team that a lot of the players, I would take them at Liverpool. That they got a lot of decent players.
Oh, they have. You know what? I've always rated Marco Silva as a manager. I love it when people come from outside of England and just shake up the Premier League doing their thing. He didn't keep Hull up, but he made such a difference to the team when he came that people recognised and saw that straight away. You know, I'm prepared to give him credit for kick-starting the careers of Andrew Robertson and Maguire, because they were both at Hull when he took over. And they were both decent players, but he certainly got a lot out of Robertson, in my opinion. Yeah. And then when he was at Watford, obviously they saw what they liked, went to Watford, signed Richarlison. The season started off really well. Richarlison was blazing, Doucouré was blazing, but I think the talk about him taking over at Everton turned his head, and I think it got to the team as well. So they lost their form, and eventually, I think he resign? But a lot of people say, oh, he always starts the season well, but then it goes badly. But I think with Watford, there was a legitimate excuse in that there was all that speculation about Everton, and I think that has unsettled him and unsettled Watford. So then Everton, again, he brought Richarlison with him. But the thing I like most about Marco Silva is he's an attacking manager. Yeah, with him, it's all about the attack. And that's what you want to see. It's exciting. And also, it gives you lots of options when it comes to FPL. So, and also he came to Everton and he's got some balls as well, because he came to Everton, he said, yeah, this Leighton Baines, I don't rate him very much. I'm going to bring in the left back who used to play for Barcelona. So you like that. So that's why I rate Marco Silva, and I'm excited. The interesting thing about Everton is that they kept a clean sheet as well.
Yeah.
For the first time in a while.
Yeah.
But you're right.
They've got England #1 keeper. They've got Morgan Stanley, who like is not playing well now, but he has been a very decent DM in the past. They have who else? We can name so many people. They should never have got rid of what's his name? The guy that's at Chelsea. Zuma. They should have tried to secure Zuma when he was on loan.
But I think Chelsea's transfer ban had a lot to do with that.
Yeah,
I'm certain he would have gone back to Everton. But yeah, I see what you mean. They're getting some good players in. You know, they got rid of Idrissa Gueye, which is a shame. But they've got this Gbamin, who I think is still injured. But hopefully when he comes in, he'll do a job. Davis, we know we've got it in him. I'll never forget the time that he ran from halfway line to score a goal against Man City. You remember that?
Yeah.
I think Everton have a good squad. They've got a good chance once they kind of get going. You know, they've got a good squad. They've got Richarlison, who's I really rate. I think he'll do well. He's still
big fan of his.
Yeah, he's still kind of developing as time goes by. Their defense is good. You know, they've got, like you said, Pickford. They've got Sidibe from Barca. They've got Keane and Mina, who play for both for England. Keane used to anyway, but
the team, you'll get points as well, Mina.
And they've got Dini as well, who's a brilliant fullback who takes, you know, a lot of their set pieces for them as well. So yeah, they've got a good squad. Yeah, let's see what.
Let's see what happens. I like the confidence of Marco Silva. He came out and he said to be under pressure is a privilege. Just imagine, he's taking it to people. He's taking it. His air. Yeah, he said, come, throw it all at me. Give me all you've got. This is what I thrive on. Yeah, you've got to admire an attitude like that, you know. Yeah. He's like, let's do this. Let's do it. Yeah. I won't be supporting Everton. That's possibly going a bit far. Don't need to go that far, but anyway. Exciting days.
Of my life.
What's that?
Wow. I'm taking that phrase with me in the future for my life. To be under pressure.
Okay. Yeah, it's a good one. I bet you if you use it, people won't even know where you got it from.
Yeah,
they'll be like,
stick that in your CV, James.
They'll be like, is that Martin Luther King? And you go,
to be fair, if you said that to someone who wasn't black and you said it was MLK, they would be too scared to question you. Otherwise,
you know what? We should do that. We should see what happens, because the next thing you know, we'll go onto Twitter and then people be like, "It's a privilege to be under pressure." Dr. Martin Luther King, and we were like, we started that. We started it.
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
All right, boys, let's move on. From Everton. What have we got next?
Dele Alli. The only reason I wanted to bring him up is because I really like the goal that he scored, but he still seems a bit like it's off the boil.
Is it a goal?
Oh!
I'm joking.
Well, look, whether it was handball or not, what he did was really difficult. And not many people can do that. Running at speed, taking the ball out of the air, and I think he nutmegged the keeper.
Yeah, he still hasn't got his mojo back. He hasn't got his mojo back. If you see him after the game, he's still got the most screw face, face. Still, so he's not there yet. I haven't seen him smile in ages.
Gosh, I was about to say something, but I won't. I'll save it for after the pod.
Okay.
but never mind. All right then. Okay, so Dele Alli, someone to monitor perhaps. It's happening slowly for Spurs, but as a segue into Champions League, they did manage 5 goals today. I don't know how many Harry Kane scored. Did anyone see that? 2. Oh, okay then.
Son scored 2, and I forgot who scored the 5th one.
All right.
It was good, the other one. I think it might be Lamela. But Lamela had a lot of chances he missed. Dele had chances he missed too. Dele Alli was on it again. Like right now, Dele Alli seems desperate to get a goal. He seems desperate to be involved. And his desperation is kind of affecting the way he plays, because he's not really carefree. He's just desperate to make something happen. But something will happen eventually.
Yeah, that's the difficulty, isn't it, sometimes? If you've been out of form, sometimes you overthink it, you overdo it, you try too hard. But he's still young. I keep forgetting how young he is, So, all right then. Somebody indirectly or directly, I suspect, is having a poke at me and asking if Callum Hudson-Odoi is value for money. How dare you? How dare you?
All I'm saying is,
Mm-hmm.
don't get sucked into the bandwagon, mate.
I'm driving the bandwagon, mate.
You're driving a bandwagon.
Never mind.
When's the last time you had an MOT on that bandwagon, mate? Because I think it's going to fall apart very soon.
Oh, you watch, yeah. We're rolling up to the lights. It's red. We're revving the engine. All right. More and more people are getting on. That does not faze me. Yeah, we're taking it all the way. Listen, yeah. I had to do something. Okay, I had to do something. I rang up Pepe. I said, look, fam, it's not you, it's me, yeah? You know? I just think I need a change. And it would be good for you too.
I definitely would choose Hudson-Odoi over Pepe. But the thing is, he's not certified to play every game for Chelsea. And if he does play, he still has competition. So
you're right. I mean, one thing that does worry me about Hudson-Odoi is that he's only 18, and there's very few teenagers who get to start practically every game. At some point, whether it's down to his age or inexperience, he will be sitting out a lot. And again, that does concern me. But it just came at the right time. Yeah, I'm not gonna.
He was 18.
Yeah,
He's been around for a while.
Yeah,
that's insane.
I know. But look,
Bayern Munich pay that much money for him, and he was 17 or 16, something like that.
Yeah. Like I said, they're not really interested in all these other youngsters. They obviously saw something in him. They knew that the potential was there. And
have you seen his youth videos?
No.
That guy was insane. He was twisting guys inside out from a child.
Yeah. Sometimes they take it onto them when they get into the senior teams, and they're able to make the best of skills like that. You know, I remember seeing youth videos of Raheem as well.
Oh, he was insane. He was insane.
When he was at QPR.
Yeah. I remember even when he came to Liverpool, when he was in the youth team for Liverpool, he was scoring like a hat-trick a game, averaging hat-trick a game. That's just what he was doing. Just normal to him. I thought when he gets to our team, I thought, wow, if he gets to our team anytime now, he's going to be the English Messi. That's what you would say about everybody there, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't always work out, but it's always nice to see when it does. Lufton, I only paid 5.9 million for him, and it's true, in terms of points per million, he's actually quite low down in the list. Actually, here's a teaser for you. Out of the top 60 players for points per million, in other words, how much value you get for them in terms of how much you pay for them, how many points they scored, or points divided by million, I think. Where's the highest Liverpool player?
Come on, it's trivia.
That's a question to James.
Yeah.
Who? No, it's not Mane.
Genie.
Alexander-Arnold.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. Trent.
It's not even him. Yeah. What? And do you know where he is out of the top 60?
Robbo.
Yeah.
Who?
53.
Who's it?
Yeah.
Who you take? Who? I didn't hear what you said.
Robertson is on the top 60 players for points per million. Andrew Robertson is the highest placed Liverpool player, and he's at position number 53.
Yeah. That doesn't surprise me. Me.
Same.
Yeah.
Who's top 10? Name one person.
The top 10 is, I'm just trying to think. It's a lot of Sheffield United players, as it happens.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I just seen today, actually, the joint highest for clean sheets this season.
Oh,
Sheffield United. Yeah. Did
you see that tweet saying that if you played the best team of the last game week, this game week, you would have got like 20 points?
Yeah. See, I think that's what's killing it for a lot of people. They've always relied on the predictability of some teams, some players. You know, you can always captain someone who's against a promoted team. You can always play your players from a top 6 team, but it's not quite working out for them at the moment. And which is fine by me, you know, because like sometimes that's the thing. I completely forgot scores, people. Like, I know you want to avoid it and everything, But because I came out on top, I'm going to quite proudly say I ranked in 44 this week, which is, I suppose, like 6 above average, something like that.
On an average week, that would be terrible. But this week,
yeah,
massive.
Yeah, it was Rico who did it for me. Rico was on my bench, sitting there with his 8 points, laughing at me, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, out of all the people I've got to play on Sunday and Monday, one of them has got to come off. And Salah not playing, not even being in the squad, actually made my game week because then Rico came in with his 8 points. Can you imagine? I was there. Don't you dare play Salah.
I had a stinker of a week.
What did you get? Was it 27?
27, yeah.
Oh, I probably got worse than that. I don't even know.
No, I think you got 29.
Did I? Oh my gosh. No, I didn't do much. I just missed the boat. I literally just missed the boat. I was
okay.
I was so...
But I'm ready for next week.
What would you have done if you had gotten to your team before the deadline? What would you have done, James?
If my team would have got any points, I would have done worse than 29. So I probably benefited by not doing my team.
Sometimes that's the best way. But as they say, it was a good week to have a bad week, I think.
Yeah. Completely agreed.
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
Crap. So, shall we start with the predictions for next week, or do you want to do the players?
When you say prediction, do you mean scores or?
Yeah, scores. All right. Okay, so let me mention the main ones. We have Man City at home to Aston Villa.
It's going to be run them over, like literally.
Yeah.
And it's 12:30 kickoff as well. I see like 4-0.
I can picture that as well.
I see 3 goals minimum for Man City. I don't see Man City scoring any less than 3.
Yeah. Because we were saying last episode, recognise. I've even forgotten our own flipping slogan. Recognise Raheem.
Recognise Raheem.
Yeah, he got a hat-trick tonight. Yeah. And last game week, he got 5 points. KDB only got 3. You've got to stick. I'm sticking with him. I'm quite happy to stick with him. At the moment, he's just looking so dangerous. And hopefully, Pep won't mess with all of our teams on Saturday, and he'll know what's good for him.
He's going to play out Sergio Aguero and Gabriel Jesus because they're both scoring. Like, you just don't know who's going to play them. There's no telling. And
again,
I tell you what, even if one of them comes on as a substitute, they'll score.
That's quite likely. I can see that happening for either of them, frankly. Jesus probably a bit more than Aguero, but it's likely for either of them. Burnley at home to Chelsea. That's 5:30 kickoff. What do you think, boys?
I kind of said a draw.
Yeah. I mean, Burnley at home, that's tough already.
It is tough.
I see a 1-0 win to Chelsea, if not a 1-1 draw.
Okay. More out of hope than expectation. I just like to remind people that football doesn't occur in a vacuum. And Frank Lampard would have seen his team only manage 1 goal against Newcastle, and he would have been unhappy about that. So it's quite possible that they've been working on ways to unlock really tight defensive teams. You know, they might do extra shooting training, extra training with the strikers, extra training on, through balls. They might even work on set pieces. And because Frank would have been so miffed about 1 goal against Newcastle United, they might have worked on it so hard that they might find a way to bust open Burnley. So I'm going to say, purely because football teams and managers sometimes react to the results that they have in the past, I'm going to say I can see Chelsea maybe getting 2 or 3 goals in that game.
Okay.
But I'm only saying that because I want a hat-trick from Choi. No. Anyway.
Hat-trick.
I think
this is the game. Yeah, this is a game with 20 points from Hudson-Odoi. I'll take 2 goals from Tammy as well because he's in my team. But anyway, Arsenal and Crystal Palace on Sunday.
Ooh. I think it's a very tough game.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you know what I want to see? I want to see how Arsenal play in Europa League this week. That might be.
That was the
yeah, and again with
Arsenal.
Yeah, Arsenal.
Okay. Arsenal will win that game. If Arsenal at home, they'll win that game.
Yeah. Then again, Wilf might have a point to prove because there was all that speculation about him joining Arsenal at the summer, wasn't there?
Yeah. I think that's going to be an interesting game.
I think so.
I can't call that one.
I think the best thing Wolf will do is will draw a penalty. I don't see him doing much more than that, to be honest with you.
Maybe. But if he has one of those games, because every now and again he has one of those games where he's just blazing it. But who knows? Then we have Liverpool and Spurs.
Liverpool versus Spurs.
Listen to that.
I mean,
I think we'll know more after the game tomorrow as well. After the Champions.
Yeah. Do you know one thing I will say? I'm actually quite concerned about Salah because the Manchester United game is pretty much the biggest game of the season so far, and Klopp didn't even think he was fit enough to put him on the bench for that, which indicates to me that the injury might be a lot worse than he's letting on.
Oh, of course. I completely agree. But the thing is, what I noticed is that, so you see the last Champions League game where Liverpool winning 3-0 and the team got 3 back? Yeah. If you notice, Salah, Firmino and Mane, when the three of them are playing together, there's always a goal there. There's always a goal. And the way they link up, there's always a goal. But with Origi, there isn't always a goal. There isn't. I felt so. That's why I just kind of feel like this Tottenham game would be a bit different.
Then again, Spurs were lucky to get away with a draw against Watford.
But Spurs weren't playing Son to start.
Do you know what? From what I saw of that game, the Spurs defending was just awful. I don't know what's happened to those guys. They used to be tight, but there's plenty of speculation surrounding that, which is not really appropriate to get into there. So
I'm going to call 2-1.
What, to Liverpool?
Yeah.
I'm going to say Liverpool are going to win that one as well. But I'm not prepared to commit to any amount of goals.
Yeah. I'm going to call another 2.
Oh, okay.
And can I just say, thinking about Liverpool, they've been in good scoring form this season, right? They've scored. We're playing at home. They've scored in every single home game they've played, and it's been for a while. Spurs have been conceding massively, not even winning, not even just conceding, but not winning, especially when on the road. So, I mean, all the stats point in favour of Liverpool. And just to go back to your point, and I don't want to open this subject again, but just to make a point, Burnley have only conceded 1 or 2 goals so far this season. I've just quickly gone through their stats because I was thinking, what have Burnley been like? And the only team that have put more than 2 past Burnley are who? Liverpool.
Okay. All right then. But like I said, we know that. Frank Lampard also knows that. Yeah. Again, I was very slow to come around to this guy, but something tells me that he's going to want to change that. He knows he's going up against a tough defence. He knows his team only managed 1 goal in their last game. They may well want to work on that. So, but you're right. On paper, it's a low-scoring game, isn't it?
I'm going to say something controversial, that I just really believe. But I believe that Frank Lampard's a better manager than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Do you just want to have another pop at Man United here?
Yeah.
I was going to bring up them playing Norwich anyway.
I'm going to get you to buy.
I believe that 1-1 result from United, I believe that it was masterminded by Alex Ferguson. We saw pictures of him in the training ground before the game, during the week. He's probably sitting down and all week just, looking at Liverpool, taking notes. He's got nothing to do at home anyway. He called up Solskjaer, said, Solskjaer, I've got a point I can give you.
You're making me pass out. I'm going to pass out. Is that what you want? You want somebody having a cardiac arrest on your hands? Oh, my goodness. Look,
Can I make one more point about Chelsea?
Go on.
Yeah.
When is their Europa League game?
Oh, wait, they're in the Champions League, aren't they?
I'm sorry. When is their did I say Europa? When is their Champions League game? Tomorrow. Who are they playing?
I have no idea.
So Chelsea are playing Ajax tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay. Chelsea are away to Ajax.
Yeah.
So Chelsea have to travel to Ajax.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who are a good side.
Mm-hmm.
Play with a strong team. Travel back to the UK. Mm-hmm. Then on Saturday they're travelling down to Burnley. They're going to be very tired.
We shall not be moved. You can't move me. You cannot move me. Be goals in that game.
Pulisic will be playing one of those two games.
Take back that 3-0. It's not going to happen.
Pulisic will be playing.
You're not going to get me to shift on this.
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
All right, let's talk players. Who we tip in for the coming game week?
Okay, Vardy.
Aha.
Jamie Vardy. I don't want to be one of those people that buys a premium striker and then they just blank for 5 weeks or 4 weeks straight because I'll be fuming. But Vardy has to deliver. The games he's got coming up are beautiful. They're perfect.
That's true. It's a good run there. And you know what you're getting with Vardy. I think in the time of such uncertainty, the last couple of game weeks, sometimes you just got to go with what's reliable, what you know, what gives you comfort. Yeah. Never mind, you've seen the fancy-looking ice cream sundae with the sparklers coming out of it. The green sauce dripping down the side. Do you think, what's that? Keep it simple, yeah? Mint chocolate chip. You know what you're getting. Not going to cause you to throw your guts up the next morning or some other strange madness. Yeah. So
I love
it. Who else?
I'll say one more. Just the standard City, almost guaranteed to start, De Bruyne.
Yeah. Fair enough. He's still a very good player. I won't deny it.
Yeah. I'm gonna. Yeah. So that's my picks.
All right, James. Do you want to go next?
Yes, I am going to pick. First team I'm going to go with. Actually, I think people should stick with Aubameyang for the next game because Arsenal against Palace. I see Arsenal winning that game quite comfortably. The other pick I'll go for is, I know we're talking about Everton being very decent, but I think people should pay attention to that Brighton striker called Neil Maupay.
Yeah.
Yes,
he's 6 mil.
Definitely.
Yeah. I think he could sneak something in. But I feel like that's just a player to purchase for that one game and get rid of him afterwards.
If that is advisable, which personally I don't think it is, but out of all the Brighton attackers, I think he's the best looking of them. He's a busy player, he's technically gifted, he gets in and around the box. Out of all of them, I think he's the most likely to get points, frankly, as far as their attacking. And I would seriously think about getting him at some point. I don't know what Brighton's run is like, but if in the future...
Two good games coming up.
Yeah. No, I like that pick. I like it. I like it a lot. Anyone else, or...?
No, just those two for now. Just those two,
okay.
I'll say.
All right, I'm going to come completely out of left field here because I have been wondering about Sheffield United's defence for a while. And I think it's time to admit that it is actually quite good. I'll just quickly say that I was very sceptical about them when they came up because I read somewhere that they like to have overlapping centre-backs. Now, it's one thing to have overlapping full-backs, but to me, overlapping centre-backs just sounds like it's leaving a great gaping big hole in the middle of your defence. But somehow they make it work. And so my pick would be, I think his name is Joseph O'Connell or John O'Connell or James O'Connell. Something O'Connell.
Yeah, O'Connell, yeah.
It's Jack. Yeah. So Jack O'Connell, I think he's a cheapish defender and he plays in a team that can keep clean sheets. So that's my pick. Whether they'll keep a clean sheet against West Ham is debatable, but I don't see why not because West Ham are just doing that Jekyll and Hyde thing of theirs, aren't they?
Yeah.
I don't know what you're going to get with West Ham.
It's kind of
ever.
them, really.
Pardon?
It's kind of what you expect from them, really. They're very Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah.
And as a second one, I'm probably a little bit too late with this, but I'm going to say Wolves. Well, actually, I'm going to pick two players because I can. I'm going to go Wolves in either Doherty or Traore. And the reason for that is that I think Wolves are back, or at least they're coming back. They've got Newcastle. And one thing I'll say about Traore, and I know this game was a while ago, but I thought the finishes that he did against Man City were very, very good. How many times have we seen people be one-on-one with a keeper and just fluff their lines completely? And for somebody who for a long time has been criticised for not having an end product, to go to Man City. And Ederson is no mug. Ederson is a decent keeper. The last game they had, he played really well, kept Man City in the game. So to go one-on-one against Ederson, and to finish that coolly and calmly when everybody's been telling you you've got no end product and any number of people will mess up a one-on-one, I can't help feeling that the guy's blossoming as a player. And if he happens to get a run, then so be it. And for Doherty, he's just Doherty. He comes in off the right, he gets into the box, he shoots, he scores. So there's my pick.
Yeah, that's a good shout. Can I throw one more in the mix?
Oh,
yep.
I didn't think I'd be saying this, but I quite fancy Martial. Keep an eye on him from United.
That's an interesting one.
What?
United have
What is this?
United have a good run coming up of fixtures, playing teams all apart from Sheffield United, teams who will concede goals: Norwich, Bournemouth, Brighton, and Villa.
Yeah.
Not to mention Tottenham, but they've got a good run coming up. So I expect Ole to be under a lot of pressure, and he needs his team to deliver. Martial's back from being unfit or injured or whatever was wrong with him, and Rashford is gaining his confidence. But I wouldn't put my money on Rashford because he does miss a lot of chances, and I still think he's not quite there yet. With Martial, he's more reliable. He's got the experience. He's proven himself in the team to deliver. So he's one I'd keep my eye on.
Yeah. Here's what's going to happen if people transfer in Martial. It's going to get 20 minutes into that game against Norwich, and then he'll sit on a biscuit or get attacked by a giant squid or something, and he'll be injured for another 7 games. Something ridiculous will just happen to, because he just can't keep fit. He cannot keep fit. He's made of glass, that boy. But maybe that's just me being cynical in the way that I am. Anyway, I've managed to go an entire episode without talking about how naff Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is. So I'm going to give myself a pat on the back.
Well done.
Okay, I think we'll leave it there, guys. Thank you very much for taking part in the pod. I appreciate it. Also, I hope everyone who's been listening has enjoyed it. So thank you very much for listening. And that's a goodbye.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Okay, bye.
Bye.